that's on the screen. It's 888-570-9445. And feel free to call in. You know, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. So your questions matter. It's not like you have to sit there on them and wait until I take a breath. Call as soon as you desire, okay? All right? Okay. So before we start, I would like to let everyone know that if you can't watch our shows live, you can go to docofdetoxshow.com or to our Doc of Detox YouTube channel, which is under Dr. Darrell Wolfe, okay? And if you go to the YouTube channel, you'll find that if you want to share this with friends or relatives that speak another language, they can actually, you'll see that they can click on the language of choice, and then it will actually dictate it underneath in script in their own language, and they can go as fast as they want. So nobody has to miss a show. If there's somebody that you believe could benefit from our shows, then great, okay? Next thing, we're going to be doing a whole life coach certification and Wolfe Deep Tissue certification and a non-surgical certification on May the 4th. That's when it starts. And the whole thing runs for 21 days if you take the combined course, but you don't have to take the whole course. You can take just part of it if you desire, okay? All right? And then in St. Petersburg, Florida, we'll be doing the whole 21-day course. Again, you can choose what you want to take, and that starts on June the 9th, and it goes for 21 days. All right? Okay. And our phone lines are open if you have questions, so feel free to call in at 888-570-9445 when they pop up, okay? So here it is. Understand something. Inflammation is the curse for the uninformed, which is approximately what? 99% of the population? Look, when I say this, I mean this in the best way, so understand that, all right? If you want to, what they call the harvest, is harvest people's health and their money, okay, then you would create a system that would create inflammation on an emotional and physical level, okay, with the population. And you know what? If you don't do your research and investigate and become the master of your mind, you'll never become the master of your health. Like I say all the time, you know, where the mind goes, the body follows, right? And you have to understand something. Inflammation is and always will be corporate America's fuel to fatten their bottom line, okay? Because understand something. If we take a look at Mother Nature, you know, the greatest healer, the sun, how much do you pay for that? Doesn't cost you anything. Just got to get up in the morning and do your 20 minutes of sun gazing and connect to your lion heart breathing, okay? Which would be what? 6 seconds in and 7 seconds out. And you can read about that on my website. Okay, and then we look at all the best food to eat, which is directly from the farmer. It's got nothing to do with corporations. They may sell it in supermarkets, but what you want to do is you want to look for organic if possible or local, farm fresh. And if you can't get that, make sure you don't forget to structure your water. I mean, structure your fruits and vegetables and even your salad. Okay? But understand something. Everything from nature is not going to cost you twice. Okay? When you're talking about corporate America, you're talking about what? You're talking about the media? Come on. Let's be real here. Okay? I mean, the news is real. Are you kidding me? If anybody goes all around the world, takes the worst situations that happened that day and puts it in 35 minutes, my gosh, I would have nightmares. Well, guess what? I used to. I used to want to watch the CBC News every night because I'd want to know what's going on, what's going wrong, and what I needed to protect myself against, which I could never protect myself because you can't protect yourself against the terror, the illusionary terror that has been created on your TV that goes into your mind. Mind your own business. That's what I would do. Because if you are a type of person that watch the news and you can say, well, I just want to become worldly. I want to become informed. Well, you may become informed, but you're going to become inflamed. Okay? Tell me one person that watches the nightly news and has a peaceful, loving sleep. It's not true. You know, the visions and the words that you see and hear before you go to bed, the last things on your mind are the last things on your mind. You know, the last hour before you go to bed should be the hour of power. And that's called going inside yourself and creating inner peace so that you have that beautiful sleep. You know, doing things like belly button therapy and your connected breath, lion heart breathing. And if you're a couple, then you would do the couples connection where you get together and you hold each other's hands. He would sit down on the floor, get in a comfortable place, spread his legs. She would put her legs over top of his. She would come close enough that he could either hold her hands or put his hands around her back, and they would gaze in each other's eyes deep within their soul and understand there's nothing to hide from each other and that they are connected, beautiful, living spirits. So, you know, it's a lot better that you look at your hour before bed, and the first hour of the day and the last hour is the hour of power. That's when you're going to set the foundation for the rest of your day, the first hour in the morning, and then the last hour before you go to bed is going to set the foundation for that 8 hours of sleep. And understand something. We need to have a peaceful sleep, okay? All right. So let's understand that corporate America, they own the media, all right? They own the media. There is 6 corporations that own around 86% of all the media. So, and that media is usually the power-hungry, really powerful news shows that everybody thinks they need to watch. If you really watch the news with both eyes open, you would see the dramatization, okay, of everything is exaggerated, all right? You know, people, when we had fires around here, I was getting calls from not 10, 20, but maybe 50 to 100 people over a period of 2 or 3 weeks asking me if my house burnt down. And the fires didn't even get close to me. You know, when we had a flood from the lake, everybody was wondering if my house got flooded. And understand something. Yes, people did get flooded, but everything is a dramatization because they want to create drama, trauma, and the more drama, trauma they create. And look at, what are the most commercials that are on TV? What are the most commercials that are on during the news? It's all about pharmaceutical. Well, take a look next time with both eyes open. And then you're watching these things and you think that you're not being affected by them. Well, let me just say this. Anybody that cozies up to a product that it takes them 15 to 20 seconds to tell you what it works on, and then it takes them 3 to 5 minutes to tell you all the negative symptoms that it's going to create. Now, people still opt into that. So there's no way that somebody's going to opt into a drug that's going to numb out the pain or numb out their feelings unless they wanted to suppress themselves down, dumb themselves down because they weren't capable of processing their own emotions. And they didn't realize that a lot of the emotions that they have weren't theirs. They were the system's. The system plugged those into you. You know what? Your parents plugged them into you. God love your parents too, you know, but their parents did it to them, which did it to them. You know, the more that we participate in society's system, society's rules, the more confused we're going to be and the more chaos we're going to be because, come on, they make you think that there's chaos everywhere. There's terrorism everywhere. Oh my gosh, you know, like, whoa, you know, be at peace with yourself. Be at peace with yourself. So understand, we are an inflammation nation. The reason why there is so much cancer, the reason why there's so much autoimmune disease, the reason why there's so many people being medicated, okay, for emotional stress disorders is because the media and the corporations have brought their marketing down to a fine art, okay? That's right. So, you know, I don't listen to any idle gossip. I'm not going to listen to anything anybody says. You know, a lot of my patients will say, did you know this is true? And I'll go, no, it's not. Show me proof. Show me proof it's true. You know, I know it's true. Okay, show me proof it's true. You can say so many things that if you're a pharmaceutical corporation, petroleum, or if you're in the food industry of plastic foods, GMO foods, you can get away with saying so much because we know that they own the systems that were supposed to protect us. So understand, pharmaceutical drugs that are supposed to get rid of inflammation and get rid of your pain actually create your pain and your inflammation. But because, I understand you so desperately want to be away from that. So I'm not saying don't do pharmaceuticals if you don't want, but, at least only do pharmaceuticals, but research how nature can take over, okay? So understand that pharmaceutical drugs create the inflammation. They create the swelling. They create the pain in another part of your body and down the road. You may not have to pay for it right now when you swallow the pill for the thrill, but it's going to come to get you. It creates not just the inflammation, but the crystallization, the calcification, and the scar tissue formation. And then listen to this. Look at, we know that the medical system is heavily into the pharmaceutical system. So what do they want to sell? Pharmaceuticals. They don't want to tell you that, guess what? That how you poo and how you pee, it tells a lot about you and me. It tells about our health. Yeah, that's right. The shape of your abdomen, the tone of your abdomen is going to tell how strong your immune system is. And understand something. If they can create enough inflammation in you, then it's going to cause something. And that's called mutation, inflammation, crystallization, and scar tissue formation, which will cause fibroids, which will cause your hips to be like sandpaper because of the crystallization and calcium and the scar tissue to rub against each other until you wear your hips down inside. Otherwise, the cartilage, the ligaments, the tissue's in there. But guess what? What they don't tell you, if you go to a surgeon, what does he say? I'll keep an eye on that for you. What he's saying is until it gets worse, okay, or until that gets bigger, I won't cut it out. Until it gets worse, I'm not going to cut into you to give you that implant, that false hip, that false knee, which we know is very toxic and causes more inflammation. So understand something. The body you've been given is the body you should keep. And that it's inflammation that's going to drive you to surgery. And then you can ask yourself this if you want. But why would somebody not want to master their own life and get rid of inflammation? Look, we have been taught to disrespect ourselves and follow the herd. You're going to have to break away. You're going to have to break away from the herd, and you're going to have to say, you know what? I am enough. I am smart enough. I am intelligent enough. I don't want to be treated anymore. I want to be trained. And that's really what it's going to boil down to, okay? So, but remember something. Before anything physical ever happened to you, it happened to you emotionally. That's right. Because your thoughts are everything. If you don't like your reality, you need to change your personality. Okay? If you don't like the relationships that you have with your wife or your husband or your children or with the world, okay, then you need to change parts of your personality. It's always going to come back to you. You're not the problem, but you are the solution. Do you understand? I'm not telling you you're broken, but the problem is that you don't realize that the thoughts that make and shape you and make and shape your day are creating this inflammation, this painful situation. So if you want to improve your relationships, okay, then you're going to have to improve your relationship with yourself. And what does that mean? That means you're going to have to honor, respect, and protect yourself and learn how to eliminate inflammation on an emotional and physical level for yourself. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sit back, put a little mini you on your shoulder, and look at yourself and go, oh God, I love you, Darrell. I am going to protect you against me. I'm going to protect you, Darrell, against me. That's right. Because until your subconscious prominent thoughts and beliefs are created by you and dipped in unconditional love by you, you can't be trusted. You heard what I said. You can't be trusted. You know what I say to some people? I say, look it, If others would have treated you like you treat yourself, they'd be in jail for what you do to yourself. They'd be in jail for that. Because a lot of people are actually killing themselves on a subconscious level. And then we can say it that, they don't realize that. Yeah, that's right. I understand. You don't know you were asleep until you wake up. Well, you better wake up and you better know something. You're not guilty about anything. But I'll tell you one thing. You better let the guilt go. You better forgive yourself 100% about everything. Let me tell you something. Everybody's so scared to let anybody off the hook because did you learn your lesson yet? Did you learn your lesson? Oh, I don't want to forgive myself too soon because if I forgive myself too soon, then my God or Creator might send me to hell or punish me. You know what? How much punishment do you deserve? When I was a child and my parents would punish me for something, I was already punishing myself for it. I didn't need any more of that. It was just beating me down. I can remember I either felt so self-loathing that I didn't deserve to live, or I was so angry that I became a rebel and I fought back. So at the beginning, I became self-loathing and I didn't have any respect for myself. So, was I just a piece of poo? So, and then after a while, I said, I'm not staying here anymore. I'm fighting back. And that's when you start to fight back. And guess what? That's called a teenager. Well, he's just a teenager. Well, yeah, they want to fight back because guess what? They want to find out who they lost their authentic self, their real self. They had that when they were a baby, but when they started to walk and talk, that got punished out of them. And that's almost all children. That doesn't make the parents bad people. It's just the parents have dysfunctional beliefs, right? Oh, when I was a kid, I know not now, but it was, spare the rod, spoil the child, right? So anyways, you know what? You should be seen and not heard. I can't tell you how many times I got the strap when I was at school. Let me see them strap someone today, okay? But let me tell you, the physical abuse has stopped, but the emotional abuse has gotten even worse. So don't think it's gotten better. I'll tell you, there are times that I'd rather have gotten slapped on the hand than some of the emotional abuse that I got from my peers and from the system and all their rules. That's for sure. Kids today hardly have a chance. They already have a chance with all the emotional abuse that goes on. So if you want relationships to be really great in your life, then you better have a beautiful relationship with yourself. You better embrace the 12 self-loving steps in Braveheart. You really need to. If you don't want to do the mirror work, do the love band, 3, 2, 1, I got this. 3, 2, 1, that's the old me. 3, 2, 1, I love myself completely. 3, 2, 1, I forgive myself. 3, 2, 1, I love myself unconditionally and I love others. I may not cozy up to everyone's beliefs, but I am not going to hate anyone because all that hate is doing is serving a subconscious hate that I have for myself, but I'm using others to actually help to fuel it. So let's get back to it. So we are an inflammation nation, okay? People know that they should drink water, but you know what? A lot of people don't drink water. A lot of people may drink water, but they'll grab these big jugs and slug them home. You don't need to do that. Take a look at structured water. For one thing, nature makes structured water. She doesn't make filtered water. She doesn't make ozone water. She doesn't make distilled. She doesn't make reverse osmosis. And she doesn't make super high pH alkaline water either. Nature makes structured water because structured water is the only true water for protecting and hydrating down to the cell. Okay? So, and understand something. If you want to put out a fire, how are you going to put out an inflammation nation? Lots of structured water. If you're an adult and you're a woman, then you'd be looking at around 3 liters. If you're a man, you're looking at 4 liters. And you could even be looking at 5 liters, okay? All right? So understand that. And you know what? A lot of people, they've been cutting themselves off of water. Now, they've been doing it on a subconscious level, but that's a hate program. No, it's not, Darrell. Yes, it is. It is so. I can prove that there's only two emotions in the world. One is love and one is hate. Not giving yourself water, is that love or is that hate? Yes, it comes underneath that. All right. And you may but you're doing it on a subconscious level. I didn't say you're consciously going, I'm not going to drink water today because I just want to get really inflamed and I want to get headaches and I want to have aches and pains everywhere and I want inflammation. I know you're not doing it because of that, but you are doing it on a subconscious level. If you were to get up in the morning and say, I'm only going to do loving things today and I'm going to embrace nature and I'm going to let mankind go because mankind's not kind. End of story. Okay? We have a caller. Hi, caller.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm having a problem with getting started on things. I've always called myself a perfectionist, and then I decided, no, I'm really a procrastinator. But now I'm just know that I'm afraid to do things.
Yeah, and do you know why you're afraid to do things? I'll tell you why. Because guess what? There was one time in your life that you got laughed at, or you don't want to show anybody that you're a failure. And guess what? There is no such thing as a failure. There's only the person who fails to keep going. Okay? And that is the bottom line. We have been taught this by society. So what happens is you think about doing something amazing for yourself or something different for yourself. And right away, as soon as you start to do that, your subconscious goes, nope, this is new. It's not happening. And understand, your subconscious doesn't care if it's going to save your life or kill you. And that's where you need to do this. 3, 2, 1, I got this. If you were to do that as soon as you felt hesitation, because you're not a procrastinator, I'd like to tell you something. There's no such thing as procrastination. And guess what? Willpower, try to use willpower. And guess what happens when you do willpower? You're going to kick the crap out of yourself and be exhausted trying to prove you can do something. Whereas the only power is in the power of loving oneself and going 3, 2, 1, I got this. Because when you do that and count backwards, it takes it right from your subconscious, puts it right into your conscious mind, and you win. Now, are you going to do that? How many times are you going to do that a day? Every time you feel hesitation, because I'll tell you, think about the greatest dreams that you ever wanted. Think about the girl you would have wished you asked out on that date. Think about all the things that you wished you would have spoke up for. How long do you want that to keep going? And it's all about hesitation, not procrastination. Please go ahead.
Okay, because I really feel like I resonate with so much of what you say, and you know, even Braveheart, I purchased it and I want to get going on it, and I haven't, and so.
But you know what? Can I tell you something honestly? That is,
yes.
There's nothing wrong with you. It shows that you have a very strong subconscious. Now, what you need to realize is that very strong subconscious is your willpower to do things. And understand that same subconscious can make you into the hero of your family. It can make you the most wealthiest man in the world. It can make you the healthiest man in the world, or it can take you down so hard. But you need to understand something, that you will not listen to your subconscious unless it is bathed in love, unconditional love and forgiveness. And if it doesn't smell like something you want instantaneous, 3, 2, 1, I got this. You know what? They say, you know what? Find your courage. You can't find courage. You got to push through the fear. Okay? Let me tell you, when I sense just even a little sense of fear, it never gets me anymore. It's practice. Are you willing to practice and practice to become the master of your mind? Or are you just going to continually let all those things you were taught at school, which you didn't like anyway, and they were full of crap, which they were, okay? Most of school isn't worth the nickel it was spent on, okay? And then your parents, God love them, you know they were dysfunctional, okay? But are you willing to take a good look at those beliefs but they gave you a lot of beautiful beliefs, but the dysfunctional ones, you know, stop the family curse. Let's get rid of those. Let's get rid of society's beliefs and understand something. Do not believe anything about any rules, anything else about the system. And absolutely watch out when there's a group of people telling you what to do. Bingo. And the other thing is, there's nothing more corrupt than your government. So the only thing I'd say is look to nature and look inside yourself, and you're going to find all the power and all the beauty. That's it.
Wow. I look forward to that. And that's and Braveheart will help me into this.
No, it will change everything. If you are actually going to do Braveheart for 30 minutes every day, I know you won't do it every day, and you did Braveheart 3 times, okay? Because guess what? Something. Are you you? Are you the authentic you? If you are the authentic you, then you would have everything that you wanted. Because listen to me, I got to tell you, the whole thing is really screwed up, okay? Because that which created the universe, which we call God, which is not a guy with a beard, okay, is this beautiful love that is beyond love, that if you even had a glimpse of it, we would probably have a heart attack right on the spot. That which we call God has never judged you and never will. That was just man made up. Okay? Man made that up. And if you don't want to believe that, that's fine. But guess what? I already know that that's not true. Okay? Because man likes to manipulate everything. And I'm not going to feel guilty about anything. I'm not going to feel shame about anything. You know what? If I honestly hurt someone, I'm going to say sorry. And the other thing is, guess what? People say, oh my God, do you hear him? He's so selfish. Well, guess what? Yeah, I'm that selfish that I have a whole business that I'm trying to reach the world and tell them to unconditionally love themselves, and that's the only thing I'm selling. So if that which created the whole universe believes I'm wrong, well, then I'm still going to do it anyway. And it doesn't. We made that up. Let me tell you something. It's called unconditional total love. That's what you were created from. And if you don't return to that and totally know that you, my friend, are the most amazing, beautiful thing that was ever created, and if you don't want to embrace that, then just get ready for a bumpy ride, the one you're having already, and that's it.
Wow. I do really appreciate that. Yeah. I do believe that God made us in His image, and His image is, as you say, is light, energy, and love.
Let me say this if I can, and I want everybody to understand this is coming from my heart. If you know, the vision that people have for God, actually, I don't know. 1 minute He loves us, 1 minute He hates us. I think He needs therapy. Okay? All right? He needs really bad therapy. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. This is the biggest, corniest lie I've ever heard in my life. I decided to come down to a planet Earth that is ruled by a group. And actually, they feed us toxic food, toxic water. Okay? They tell us we're unworthy. Okay? They tell us that we have limited potential. Right? And guess what? My parents loved me the best they could, but my mother was an alcoholic that died of lung and tongue cancer. And my father, he was a pastor and a carpenter, and all he wanted to do was die and be with Jesus. Do you understand? Now, like a little kid could get a little screwed up because my father never showed he loved me. And understand something. When I remember the whole time that I was being raised, I had the most beautiful heart, and I still do today. And you know what? Just because I fight back and I'm a rebel, and just because I don't fit in, I don't really care. I don't need anybody's approval because I know one thing. I know that created the whole universe loves what I'm doing, and all I'm doing is trying to spread the word of love. Meanwhile, there's so many people that have a fearful God, and you know what? Their same religion has killed more people on this planet, okay, than I'm hurting anyone. I don't hurt anyone. What I do is I test people's beliefs. And then they say that I'm, you know, I could be like, I don't know, he's up to something. He's up to something because he can't be just up to, you know, teaching unconditional love. He must have some kind of cult going on. Meanwhile, the reality is guess what? I just want you to have it. And when you start really totally loving yourself and giving yourself that attention, you're going to stick out. And family members and friends are going to think, wow, what's up with you? But you know what? Understand, when you have a conversation with someone, you're not talking to their heart. You're talking to their subconscious. And remember something. When you're talking to me right now, I don't care what you've done. I forgive you. And you don't need my forgiveness. And I have unconditional love for you. I will not cozy up to dysfunctional beliefs if you have them. But I will tell you, I am here for you. I'm here for everyone because I've been there. Okay. I used to drink and get drunk out of my head, you know, and I used to do it because I had to become somebody else. I did drugs. I did that too. I used to go when I was younger, a teenager, I'd go and I'd steal from Woolco because my family was so poor and my mother was an alcoholic. You know, I've done it all, but do I have any guilt for any of this? Absolutely not, because I've done my best. And guess what? I came down to this adventure and I'm going to win it. I am going to win it and try to get everyone else to know that they are just here in an adventure. They didn't come down here because they're cursed by God. They came down here because they said that they could live in a place that will lie, cry, and justify and put you down, but you will rise from the ashes and you will return to unconditional total love and you will reclaim your God-given right to creating a beautiful life. And that is it.
Wow. That, like I say, I resonated with a lot of what you say, and I'm really grateful for you being where you are right now.
Well,
I just wish I could have known you years ago. Well, not. I wish you could have been where you are right now years ago, and I could have followed along then.
No, but guess what? No. Everything that you've done and all the pain and suffering that you've went through, you said, I want to come down here and do this. I got this. You knew that you were going to go into blood, sweat, and tears. And you said, I am going to feel this. I'm going to experience this. Look at, you are an infinite spirit on a universal adventure. You've come to planet Earth to experience emotion from A to Z. You've came here to experience the good, the bad, and the ugly. You're doing a great job. You're a powerhouse. And now you're going to utilize all that emotion, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and you're going to rise out of the ashes like the phoenix, and you are going to become a Braveheart hero for your friends and your family. And you're going to hold the line, and you are going to honor, respect, and protect yourself when your family come up against you, and you're going to say, I love you anyway.
Wow. I'm looking forward to that.
You've got it. Just do the work. Hey, do you deserve 30 to 45 minutes a day of self? Would you like to get to know you? Would you like to get to know the authentic you? Well, then spend time with you and get to love you, because guess what? You're on an infinite adventure. You are not going to be this man. When you decide to leave this planet, you will be back to spirit. So you might as well get to like spirit, because you're going to be with spirit for eternity. So let's get real cozy with being with you and loving you unconditionally, because guess what? Do you know what the only game is in this planet? To lose love for yourself and then to get it back, okay? And to get it back totally. That's the name of the game down here. And guess what? That's it. That's the game. How many people say, you know what? I feel like I'm dying incomplete. I'm scared to die. I'm scared to live. Well, I'm not scared to live and I'm not scared to die. But I'll tell you, as long as I'm here, I'm going to make a difference, because you know what? I couldn't love what we call God anymore. And then people think that I'm selling this selfish self-love stuff, and I'm selling unconditional, be good to you. You were created by God Almighty. Act like it.
Wow. I do like that. I do have some work ahead of me.
I know you've got some love ahead of you. Watch your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth, what it says, because your subconscious is going to want to take control here. I have some love ahead of me. I've got lots of love. The first step you've got is to love yourself. Second step, love yourself more. And then find out how your relationships change with your wife, your girlfriend, your children, your family.
I have a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, and just know I'm here for you.
I appreciate that, Dr. Wolfe.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Just add water. That's what I say, eh? You know what? When there's a forest fire, we add water. So, try to add structured water. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Your food is either putting inflammation out or it's causing inflammation. And guess what? And you'll know if it's causing inflammation because you're going to feel it. You're going to feel it. You're on drugs right now to numb yourself out. But you're not trying to numb out the pain and inflammation. You're trying to numb out the pieces of you that aren't you. You're trying to numb out those dysfunctional beliefs, those prominent beliefs that are tearing your life apart, and nobody's ever told you that it's okay to love yourself. Nobody ever told you that it's okay to spend some time investigating into yourself, because you were told that you're supposed to get that from everyone else, just like, we're told that, our health is going to be taken care of, our finances are going to be taken care of. Come on. Our love is going to be taken care of. All of these are self-serving jobs, okay? These are self-serving jobs that we need to do. The best thing that you're ever going to give your family, okay, is the freedom to know that they can love themselves, okay? The freedom to know that they're not going to be judged anymore. The freedom to know they can become themselves, their true selves. So you will eat the food at which you vibrate from. When's the last time that you were angry or depressed and you made a salad? Or you went and you brought out the juicer and you did some juicing? No. You did not. You picked the food and the drink that equaled the vibration of your belief systems. But they weren't your belief systems, because if they were your belief systems, you'd be in love already. They're your mommy and your daddies and the systems and I'm not going to go into it. I don't want to point fingers. But you did say you could come down here to a life-threatening, fun-filled experience and win the game. Only 1 out of 10,000 people, I believe, actually finished the game properly. But, yeah. What a lovely game it is, too. I really do love my life. And I'm so grateful for it. I'm so grateful to be here with you right now. I am. I'm so grateful. I'm living my passion and living my purpose, and I may never meet you, but just know that I really do love you. And if I brought a smile to your face, or you've made a decision not to hurt yourself today, then my job's done. Okay, my job's already done. That's it. Yeah. So understand something. So inflammation. It has its side effects, which are pain and swelling, okay? And we have a caller, and I'll come back to that. Hi, caller.
Hi there, Dr. Wolfe. This here's Big Ed today.
Hey, Big Ed. How you doing?
I just wanted to tell you there, Doc, that I like so much of what you say. Like that last fella you talking to, telling about drinking the structured water. I tell you, that structured water is a game changer. You're right. It's not about diffused hydrogen. It's not about this or that. It's about copying nature, and you're right about that. And also, I want to tell you, you're right about a lot of other things you done said. And I just want to thank you for what you try to do for humanity. That's all I want to say there, Doc. And you look pretty sharp in that shirt. But thanks for what you're trying to do to help us all.
Well,
bye-bye now, and have a good day on me.
All right.
No charge.
God bless. Thank you. People are beautiful. They really are. And you know what you're going to find out? You're going to find out that people become even more beautiful when you allow the beautiful inside you to blossom. You heard what I said. When you allow the beautiful inside of you to blossom. Okay? The image you hold for yourself is going to be the determining factor on how every moment in your life is going to be. Really. Okay? So, anyways, where was I? Oh, yeah. Inflammation. So, inflammation creates pain and swelling. And understand something. The pain and swelling are symptoms telling you that you're actually emotionally and physically hurting yourself. And these are just friendly reminders. It's funny how bacteria is the medical system's enemy, It's funny how bacteria is my best friend when it comes to the internal workings of the body. It's funny how pain and swelling tell me when I'm not emotionally and physically in harmony with my true self, my authentic self. It's funny how pain and swelling are the medical system's enemy. Now, for those of you that are swelling, now, do you get this? Did you get what I just said? So swelling is a symptom. Now, for those of you that are swelling, and most of the time you're swelling in your belly, your arms, your legs, right? Well, when you have swelling, you have water retention. You're retaining water to dilute the inflammation because there's a fire. You can get swelling when there's an acute injury, because that's the white blood cells coming in, okay, to fight the infection, and they overcompensate to make sure you're okay. But then what happens is that swelling goes away when it's an acute thing. But when it's a chronic problem, the swelling will come in first, and then the fat cells come in, because the swelling is the inflammation, which is the toxins. Whether it's emotional or physical, it's in the water. You heard what I said. It's in the water, which is in the blood, which is in the interstitial fluid and extrastitial fluid in your body. It has emotional and physical toxins in there. That swelling is to dilute the toxins until you hopefully wake up. Wake up to a new way of living. So, when you see the puffball syndrome with people, they have no shape left. They're just a big ball here. That's all water. When you see somebody's abdomen and it's sticking out, that's gas from the bacteria because the person's actually rotting. That stomach that sticks out, that's rotting. The pelvis and the lower bowel are rotting. That's why prostate cancer is going through the roof. That's why colorectal cancer is going through the roof. Ovarian cancer, uterine cancer, fibroids, tumors in the pelvis are going through the roof. That's why breast cancer is going through the roof, because the damage starts in the pelvis before it's in the breast. Did you get that? I'm telling you right now that 95% to 98% of all cancers on a physical level start in the groin before they're in the breasts. So you're going to have swelling wherever there is inflammation. That swelling comes down when the inflammation leaves. So most people think that are overweight and obese, they think that they're all fat. Oh yeah, there's a lot of fat there, especially if you're really heavy. But the reality is, a lot of it's just water. That's why when somebody decreases the toxic food that they eat, they lose weight quickly because the water comes down, because the fire's not as big, because they took the burner and turned it from high to simmer. So now we're just on simmer. And guess what? 1 out of 10,000 people aren't on simmer. Everybody else is on high, medium, or simmer, because you don't even realize that you're actually on a subconscious level continually dumping adrenaline and cortisol into your system. I'm going to fall asleep. When I die, because I'll fall asleep, okay? Or maybe I'll be parachuting or something, who knows? But I'm not going to die of a chronic disease, I always thought I was going to die of lung cancer because when I was younger, I used to smoke a lot, okay? I never thought about leukemia. My father died of leukemia, but I never thought I'd get leukemia. But because I was a smoker, of course I'm going to die of smoking, because my mother died of smoking. So if I would still be smoking, it wouldn't be maybe even the smoking that would have killed me, but it would have been the idea that my mother died of smoking. And if I smoke, I'm going to die, because the mind's more powerful than anything else. Where the mind goes, the body follows. So I'm off track a little bit here. So all I want to say is those of you that are overweight, you may not believe this, but that's a protection for you too. Because the bigger you get, the more you keep people away from you. Especially women that have been sexually abused. And that needs to stop real soon. You'll find that they will actually make themselves less attractive, less appealing. And because of the self-loathing, unworthiness. And I hope any women out there that are listening to this, that you really work with your mind and reclaim yourself and really find a really beautiful place within yourself, okay? All right? So understand something, again, like I was saying, water. Water's a big issue. And when you have issues in your tissues, you're going to have a lot of water. And that's going to dilute the inflammation, okay? So it doesn't mean you stop drinking water either. Don't do that either, okay? But a lot of times, if you're retaining so much water, you got to get your bowels moving properly and get on a fresh and raw diet before you can take on all that water, because you can't even process that water. And if you're overweight, we already know that you're jammed up and constipated from a intestinal level to a cellular level to your lymph is congested, everything's congested. That's why you need to look at structured water, because lower that surface tension so that the water will come in. Instead of having water's usually 2,500 to 3,000 molecules, bring it down to 6 molecules. And you'll see that on our website as well, okay? So let's understand something, okay? Let's understand that, okay? Nothing destroys your immune system or stops your immune system from returning more than inflammation. Inflammation is the #1 destructor. If you don't get rid of inflammation, guess what? If you have inflammation, you will stay in fight, flight, and freeze mode. Well, come on, when you're in pain, you contract. When you're in pain, you feel like you want to run away from yourself. When you're in pain, you have anxiety even in your dreams. Let me tell you, I'm known as the doc of detox. I don't believe in heavy-duty detox programs. I don't. I believe in creating the perfect day in every way. And I will tell you, after 37 years, I truly believe that we can create the perfect day for, I won't say everyone, but pretty close to everyone. And I don't believe that there's incurable diseases either. So that's another thing I don't believe. I also don't believe that diseases are genetic, okay? And even the ones that they say they are, which is something like, I don't know if they say it's 2% of cancers are genetic or 3%. I can't remember right now. But I don't believe that they're genetic either. I believe that we can override anything. So whatever they want to say, they can say. But did you ever notice how things always change? So if you want to change, then you better change your brain. You want to change your brain, you change your life. Change your brain, you change your health. So, start thinking a different way. To change your reality, you change your personality. So understand that inflammation is the destructor of the immune system. Understand that when you have inflammation, okay, you shut your immune system down. You've got no protection. So the sooner you get rid of the inflammation, and I will tell you, take a look at my Perfect Day Guide, go to page 29, look that over, and then, call me on the next Braveheart Nation in 2 weeks. They're every 2 weeks. Why not get free consult, right? Anyways, check that out. It's on Doc of Detox Library. And also read The Braveheart Way as well. But the reality is, take a look at that. You're not going to buy all those products. You're not going to do all of that. But start embracing it. Start embracing some of these ideas. All right? And then we'll talk about them more. And understand something. I'm also going to be talking in the future here about water fasting, because I really believe that it's very important to do. And I've got probably about a dozen people right now doing water fasting, but you got to go into it right. You got to do it right. You got to come out of it right. And we're going to be talking to some of the most popular people about fasting, water fasting. And also I'm going to be putting information together so that we can help to guide you on that. All right. Now let's get back to the inflammation. Inflammation, okay, is cancer's, okay, cloak. As long as you have inflammation, you cannot turn cancer around. It's very difficult. And you can't turn cancer around until you knock the C off of cancer, which stands for contamination, conflict, okay, and corruption. The corruption is from society, as far as I'm concerned. And that contaminates your mind. And then guess what? Then you have all kinds of conflict with yourself. Oh my gosh, should I get chemo? Should I get surgery? Should I get radiation? Or should I just love myself? I don't know. The reality is, I'm not telling you not to have these things, but you know what? I'm not attacking these things because of anything except that they're just not nice. They're just not loving. If something's not loving, I'm not going to like it. So I don't want anybody going out there and going, oh, he's got to put that down, doesn't he? Well, no, I'm not going to put it down. It is down. It's low vibrational. If it's not dipped in unconditional total love for human beings, I'm not going to recommend it. Thank you very much. It's not going to happen. All right? And I'm not telling you not to do it, but just know this. There are options. Like, how about not freaking out? Okay? How about not freaking out? Okay? Cancer is not a death sentence. All right? And understand something. If I go to the butcher's to buy vegetables, it's not going to work out very well. He's going to want to sell me meat. That's what he sells. If you go to a surgeon, what are they going to sell? If you go to an oncologist, are they going to tell you to drink structured water? Are they going to tell you to have a non-inflammatory diet? Are they going to tell you to have non-inflammatory thoughts? Are they going to tell you to never forget who you are, that you were created by God Almighty, and that you created the cancer, and you can also remove the cancer? Are they also going to tell you that we can cut the tumor out, but we can't cut the thought out that created it? And I'm still not putting them down, because there is times and places where surgery is needed. I'm not saying that it's not. But I'll tell you something that's really needed. For you to rise up, for you to wake up, and to realize that you are a beautiful creation and that you were created to create. Take a look around you at the clothes you wear, the house you live in, the car you drive, the job you have, and take a look at your family. You created them. You created everything around you. We live in the same world, me and you. But I'll tell you, our personalities are defined by the way we perceive ourselves, others, and the world. And the way you look at things and perceive things, that creates your personality. And that's why some people have a reality they don't want. But what they don't realize is that the thoughts that they're running were never theirs. They got sucker punched. They got sold something, here, this beautiful car, but there's no engine. You know, you're the greatest investment you'll ever make. So why don't you start making it? You're worth it. And I want to ask you, what's the worst that could happen if you totally loved yourself and you said, I'm going to give myself half an hour, 45 minutes in the morning, half an hour, 45 minutes at night, that's just for me. When we finally realize that we are light energy, we are frequency, we are vibrational beings, then we will really take a second on thinking about our thoughts. And when you realize that what you think about, what you talk about, and what you do really matters, and that it creates matter, then you'll know that you do hold the power of creation. Then you need to start practicing it. And understand it takes 9 months when you daily work out a new belief and you work at it with your heart and soul. When you let yourself off the hook, when you go off track. There are no failures, just people who fail to continue. Anyways, I want to thank you for joining me. Thanks for being on my show. Thanks for watching my show. I want to thank everybody who works for me. Without all the people that work for me, I wouldn't have a show. My shows are getting better. We're shooting them better. You know, we're getting them out to people more efficiently. You see, it takes time. If you take a look at some of the shows I was doing a couple years ago, well, you probably won't, because we're going to take them off of YouTube. You see, but the thing is that's where we started, and it was good enough. You just can't get to here. I had to have those 2 years of getting my groove on. So wherever you are right now, whatever you've gone through right now, you've made no mistakes. Yes, I have. No, you haven't. No, you haven't. You said that you could come down to a planet of blood, sweat, and tears and fears, and you could win. You could do this. You got this. We don't fall. We're going to fall forward. You got this. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for joining me. Let's create the perfect day together. God bless.